Right. We have done a four-part series on blended family, and we're going to be taking a break from that for a while so we can collect our thoughts. I'm reading some books from Ron Deal, and I'm trying to get my thoughts together because there's so much there, and you got to just kind of do it in chunks because you get a bunch of Ron Deal information in your head, and it's just a lot to pick apart. So, anyways, uh, we are starting right now a series. I don't know how long it's going to be, 3 or 4 parts, who knows, on Christ-centered marriage. And we're going to call this series The Good Things in Marriage. We're going to get kind of creative. So that's one of those teaser topics. And we're going to conclude this series with the highlights of our Branson Weekend to Remember trip. We haven't done it yet. We're going to. I think it's May the 16th, 17th, and 18th. We're gonna try to make some videos and clips, and that's going to be our highlights. So 4 weeks from now, I think it's 4 weeks now, you don't want to miss that. It's going to be our Weekend to Remember marriage retreat in Branson highlights. So, Lori, get us going on this episode today.
Okay. So when a man and a woman get married, they have these glorious visions of what married life together is going to be like. They envision romance and laughter, the joy of having children, big house, fancy cars, extravagant vacations, living the life they've always dreamed of. Then when they get married, they find out it's not exactly what they thought it was going to be. They find that sometimes marriage is tough. They may not always be equipped to deal with all the difficult things in marriage. Many are not capable of enduring marriage when it gets tough. Like the old saying goes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
They're out.
This applies to some marriages as well.
That's right. When marriage gets tough, some people said we're out. So the title of our episode today, part 1 of The Good Things in Marriage, and it's called Enduring Life Together. And I know what you're thinking. What's so good about enduring life together? Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to explain what all that means, so stay tuned. All right, yeah, so enduring marriage is a good thing. Some people are like, okay, we're confused. So today's show is going to be focused on how enduring the tough times in marriage can help make your marriage great. When you endure tough times, it can make your marriage good. Endurance, like the Bible says, endurance produces perseverance, and perseverance produces patience. Oh my goodness, I should have got that Bible verse out. It's in Philippians, I think, or
I think it's Roman.
Romans. It's in a bunch of times. Paul wrote it a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about the good things in marriage, enduring hard times probably ain't up there. When we get married, I'm looking forward to enduring hard times. Probably ain't on the list.
For better or for worse.
For better and better for worse, right? For better for worse. You say that, but you think it's going to be better.
We don't take seriously the for worse part.
It ain't going to be no worse. Sometimes we have to endure hard times in order to get to the good times. And that's something that we have learned in our 13 years plus of marriage. Making it through the difficult times in marriage has made us stronger.
So there are many things that nearly all marriages have to deal with. So I'm going to just list some. Raising kids, finances, work stressors, health issues, external family issues like in-laws and extended family issues, church involvement, hobbies, vacations, sex and intimacy, and the list goes on. In today's episode, we're going to discuss just a few things that we have to endure together in our marriage and how it's made us stronger. We made a short list, so let's get to it.
Okay. So first on the list, this is not an exclusive list. I was thinking about this, like really wrote down all the things that you endure in marriage. It would be a 5-hour series. So we're going to just make this short. These are like the big ones. Dealing with time apart is tough in marriages. Maybe just because I was in the military, we had to deal with that. But I don't know, maybe one of you have a husband that works all the time or a wife that works long hours and you have time apart. But we have a very unique marriage. I was in the Air Force. And when we first got married, she learned quickly, I'm going to have to deal with some time apart. From the engagement period, I literally asked her to marry me And then I was like, the next week, hey, I'm going on a trip to Kuwait for 6 months.
We got engaged in March.
Yep.
And then you left in May.
Yep.
You came back in November, and we got married in
We got
December.
married. So, for the first 8 months of our engagement, she spent 6 months away, thinking this is what our marriage is going to be like. Since he's in the Air Force, it's going to be times where we're apart, and that's tough. And I told them boys over there, I was like, hey, this woman, when I get back, if she ain't done with me, then it's meant to last, because we're engaged and we're not even together. But during my 5 years, the first 5 years we were married, and I was in the Air Force, I was gone from either 4 to 6 months. I think it was a total of 4 times. I counted it 4 times in the first 5 years. So it wasn't very many years when I was there with them the whole time. And so when I was gone, those 4 to 6 months, I left her along with 3 boys, dogs and cats, and jobs and house and whatever else to deal with. Many military marriages, and if you're in a military marriage, comment if you have similar situations and you're like, I know, I've been there. I'd like to hear from you. Many military marriages have been destroyed because of these situations. And I've been in the Air Force for 29 years. 3 of the last, it was as a civilian working in the Air Force, but I was active duty for 26 years. And I have seen multiple, probably in the 40 or 50 marriages destroyed because the wife or the husband can't deal with a separation. They can't endure. But thank God I had a woman that was capable of dealing with that. But so Lori, how about you describe what those times were like when I was gone for those 4 to 6 months periods?
Well, it was always hard at first, but you just learn how to deal with it. I'd been a single mom for a little while, so I kind of already knew what it was like to just be with the kids by myself. But he was very good to make sure we had a budget and make sure we had, even when we were
Hey,
engaged.
here's a spreadsheet. This will last for 4 months.
Yeah, he was like, here's a budget for the next 4 months. And even before we got married, he left me his debit card and he was like, you have this much money every month. If you need groceries or if you need something, just go get it. So he was taking care of us before he ever got married.
This is the way it's going to be for the next 5 years.
So, and then, so we just made it work, and I got the boys up and got them ready for school and did all the things. And even when he was home, he would work shifts where he would work at night.
Yeah.
We'd come up from school and he'd already be gone for work, and then he'd come back home after we went to bed or whatever. So even when he was home, we still had to deal with separation because
we're still enduring through a tough situation.
But I mean, we had the weekends together, so we always had the weekends to look forward to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always made sure I took the boys to church, and the church was a big help. They helped us out a lot if we ever need anything or just for support. I really think having a church family is a key to enduring things like that, whether being a single mom because I'm single, or single mom because my husband's deployed, or that was a key. I think our faith really kept us going.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds good. I don't have anything else for that. So
Okay.
next one.
So we are a blended family, meaning our family unit formed from remarriage. My kids became Joey's stepsons, and this brought stressors as well. One of the lead factors to divorce in blended families is due to the breakdown of parent and step parent dynamics. So some are not able to endure that. Some think they're just going to come into the marriage and all their problems are going to be over with and everything's going to be brand new and everything's going to be great. And I think we kind of thought that too at the beginning, that we were just going to get married, new relationship, new marriage, everything is going to work out great. So, Joey, can you describe what it has been like for you to endure the struggles of being a stepdad, and maybe some things you have been, some accomplishments you've had as a stepdad?
Well, this is something I've never done before, and we got married, and I was like, 40.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old. I didn't
Mhm.
have any kids. I was just in circumstances that never led me to having kids of my own. So right away, I was like, these boys are going to be mine. I know I'm not their dad, and I'm not going to try to take that away from them, but I am going to treat them like they're my boys. And they're going to love it. And they're going to act like they're my dad. I'm their dad. Didn't always go like that. Now, it kind of shocked me at first. I'm thinking, you boys they don't kind of they don't think the same way they don't get the same vibe that I'm giving out, but it didn't bother me. Um, and there was a book that the man who conducted our wedding, he
Mhm.
was affiliated with the Family Life group, and he
Mhm.
gave us a book, Smart Stepdad. I read a little bit of it. And if you're listening, Jason, I'm sorry. Uh,
Mhm.
I put that book down. I'm like, I don't need that book. I can do it. I don't need that book. I don't need nobody's help. I can do it. And 13 years later, I look at that book and like, man, if I would have read that book, I should have took that book with me to Kuwait and read that book over and over and over. And I could have came back saying, okay, the boys are going to have time when they're going to be talking to her about something, and they're not going to be talking to me about the same thing. And they're going to be coming to her, and it's going to make me feel left out. They're not doing it on purpose. They're going to do things that's going to make me upset. They're not doing it on purpose. And I read and I learned that these are it's like that in every step family dynamic, but I didn't know. I didn't understand. I think for me, the hardest thing was trying to understand how it all worked. But some of the accomplishments, I love going out on vacations, going on trip with them. The oldest boy, right away, we had a bond. And I think I was closer with him than I was with the other two boys. Uh, we'd go on trips together and we'd go golfing. And now he's 25 and married, and he got two little baby girls. They're just
Mhm.
great girls. He's a good daddy, and we're so proud of him. And to me, being part of his life and seeing him grow up into an adult and knowing that I kind of helped him with that, and his dad was there for him too. And between his dad and me, we both kind of molded him into the man he is. That's a great accomplishment. And the other boy, he'll be 20 soon, and he's going to college, and he's a smart kid, and he's going to be an accountant, and he's doing good.
Mhm.
And we're still involved, and that's really great too. The youngest boy, we've had a lot of struggles with him. He's just one of them stubborn kids,
Mhm.
stubborn, headstrong kid,
Good. Yeah.
hard headed. He wants to do it his way until it kills him. But I think the greatest accomplishment of all of these boys was when he and I came to an agreement that I am going to adopt him, my youngest boy, as my official son. So we went through the process, got the papers drawn up, went to court, and the judge signed the papers. And now I've adopted my youngest boy. He is officially on paper my son. So if you looked at our birth certificate, you'd think I was there whenever he was
Mhm.
born, but I wasn't. But that's to me the greatest accomplishment. But it took some endurance. I had to not give up. And I'm telling you, there have been a lot of men, and there's probably a lot of fathers or stepmothers that a couple years into it, like, I can't do this. I can't do this no more. And that would have been it. But almost going on 14 years, I'm still here. And the youngest boy, he's a couple years away from, you know, being
He'll
on
be
his
a
own
senior
in
next year.
college. Couple years, couple years from today, he'll be finishing up his first year of college. And we, hopefully I think he's gonna make it, on his own terms, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And we'll be proud of him too. But it's gonna be good to know that I'm been an influence in his life, and whether he wants to admit it or not. But um, yeah, so that's what it's like for me. But it's been an endurance, and through it all, enduring that in our marriage has made us better. So
Mhm.
that's the good thing there. Okay, so the next thing, number 3, every marriage endure. This is for some the big one. Uh, every marriage endures intimacy problems in some form or fashion. If you don't, you have the you have the magic, the keys, whatever that we'd like to hear from you. If you've never had problems with your sex life or intimacy, whatever you call it, comment, because we want to know how you did that. But face it, sexual intimacy is one of the benefits of marriage, and it's something that a husband and wife to be anxiously long for. You know, it's in your mind. When we get married, we are going to be physically intimate, on that wedding night, the honeymoon. It's going to be great. And um, most marriages start out with a vibrant sexual life. The sexual intimacy is vibrant at first. Honeymoon phase, I guess what you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, they form a rhythm. Maybe they establish good habits. Sometimes that rhythm fades and you drift into dysfunction. And that dysfunction drifts into a non existent intimacy life. And some get to where they're two people living in the same house and they're totally disconnected, physically, emotionally, everything. But and for some, it gets to the point where they can't endure that and it destroys a marriage. They say finances is the one thing that destroys a marriage the most, but I don't think that. I think physical intimacy destroys a marriage more than anything. We've had our ups and downs in our intimate life, and we're not going to go into details. Maybe one day we'll do that. We'll just do an episode on that. Not right now. Not anytime soon. Um, Maybe we can build a more of a audience. Um, but I will say that we've had a period in our life when our intimacy life was one of those nearly non-existence. However, we have recently made a miraculous transformation in our marriage, mainly due to this weekend to remember. And listening to Ryan and Selena Frederick, the Fierce Marriage. Check plug for Fierce Marriage. Recommend it. However, we have made a miraculous transformation in our marriage, and our intimacy life has been dramatically transformed for the better. So, Lori, I'm gonna let you tackle this one. What has been some of the things that has helped us transform our marriage intimacy? What are some of the things that we have done, some of the good things that we have done and we're doing that helps us, that might help others struggling in their marriage in this same situation?
Well, you just mentioned a couple of them. One was it started off with going to the Family Life Weekend to Remember last May, which we're going to go again this May.
Yes.
That kicked it off, and so we came home wanting to find some other resources that would help us get even better, and we found Ryan and Selena Frederick, Fierce Marriage, and so that's helped us. So some of the things we learned in between both of those, is make sure we're spending time together, intentional time together, whether it's sitting on the couch watching a TV show or reading a Bible passage or reading a devotional or just talking about the day or whatever it is. Make sure we find some time for connection every evening. We always make sure that we greet each other in the morning, greet each other after work with a hug and a kiss, and just used to before conference, we would just come in from work, whatever, and we just went about our business and didn't really acknowledge
She'd
each
go to her
other.
spot and I go to my spot, and then
Yeah. He'd go to bed before me. I'd stay up doom scrolling for like an hour. Mainly that was because I didn't want to have to go to work the next day, so I just put it off. That was that main problem. But anyway, so and then listening to those resources, we established a schedule um, where we are intimate a certain number of times a week, and that varies depending on what's going on with our life and jobs and who's sick and who's not. And the older we get, especially me, knee problems and other things, and so we just find something that works for us, and we just try to be intentional about it. And that's something we never did before. We have conversations about it, which is something we never did before. And so I think just all those things together has really helped us.
We even got a book that we read about it.
Yeah.
We would never have done it. Well, we went to that marriage conference. They had these books laid out, Tony Evans, Kingdom Man. Yeah, that looks good. Kingdom Woman, Kingdom Marriage, Marriage Devotions. Yeah, that looked good. Great Sex and Marriage. Oh,
Nope. Friday, it was like, I wouldn't even look at that. Nope.
nope.
Not even looking at it.
Yeah.
By Sunday, we were like, let's get that book.
We ordered it. We ordered it a day after we said we should have bought that one there. And we read it and it broke down some barriers. And look, husbands and wives, you can't have that wall. You can't have that wall between you. It don't matter if it's emotional or if it's about sex or if it's about the kids or finances or whatever it is. You can't have a wall in your marriage, anything.
Mhm.
Got to break that wall. That was a wall we had between us, and we broke it. We broke that wall, and you're thinking, well, y'all schedule it? That just don't sound good, It got to be spontaneous with it. We had some spontaneous times too. But you know what the scheduling does? It gets us to think, okay, Friday night is our night. So when Wednesday rolls around, you're thinking about it. And then Thursday night, you're thinking, man, I'm worn out this week. And then Friday morning, you're thinking, tonight's Friday night.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right. It's a good night. And we thought about it. If you don't schedule it, you might say, try to do it Friday, then you don't. So now you're going 2 weeks, and then you're going 3 weeks, and you're going 4 weeks. Next thing you know, you're back to non-existent. So um, you have to schedule it. You have to be intentional. You can't avoid it. Because the more you avoid it, the more you're going to avoid it. And it ain't like we just, okay, well, it's that time, let's go.
Mhm.
No, we don't do that. And like she said, we sit on the couch together and we go to bed together every night, whether we're intimate or not. Sometimes I'll just say, let's just go to bed. And
I'm worn out.
I'm worn out, and I'll grab a hold of her, you know, and we didn't always do that. And some of you might think, well, we don't do that either. We don't go to bed together. And I hear some marriages, they sleep in different beds. And that's normal for them. But I'm telling you, it shouldn't be normal. You should sleep in the same bed every night, whether you're sexually intimate or not that night. Sleep in the same bed together, go to bed at the same time. All that stuff helps. It helps. There's we're gonna do an episode on sex. That's it.
We'll have to
Yep.
eventually.
Eventually. Okay. Anyway, uh
Last
go
one.
ahead.
One of the problems that destroys marriages is the inability of husbands and wives to come together as one in agreement. Husbands and wives often disagree on such things as finances, and it's said that many marriages end in divorce because of finances. Husbands and wives disagree on how to raise their children, household chores, spiritual and church issues, communication issues, and yes, husbands and wives disagree on small matters. We haven't really had a big problem in this area. We've had our share of disagreements, but I feel like for the most part, we are united in most things. So we're pretty much united on finances. It's our finances aren't always the best, but we agree on how money's spent and where the bills are going to get paid, and we're going to put savings in every as much as we can, and we're going to tithe as much as we can, and we try not to spend money on dumb junk and just So we don't. I'm not a big shopper, so he doesn't have to worry about me going to the mall and spending hundreds of dollars on junk clothes and stuff I don't need. So
I have to make her spend money on stuff.
yeah, he does. Um, he doesn't have to worry about that. So we pretty much agree on church and just the everyday things. I don't think we really have any major disagreements on just those daily things that some people do have. So what do you think has helped us stay united as one as far as things we agree on? What's helped us get through tough times with disagreements?
Um, so this is going to be, to me, the biggest one of all the things you have to endure. And you think, man, you said a lot, the sex life. What else did we say? Being apart, y'all was apart all that time, and you had to deal with stepkids, and sound like y'all have endured a lot. But to me, this is a positive. There's really nothing negative here. But we've endured a lot. We've endured injury. We've endured sickness. We've endured death, family members. Um, we've endured a lot of financial struggles, and we've recently had to do a debt consolidation, and that it's something we talked about. I'm not going to do anything unless she's okay with it, and she's not going to do anything unless I'm okay with it. And the biggest thing for me is knowing that she's not going to shoot me down if I have an idea, even if it's a dumb idea. I like, this is what we're going to do. She might say, okay, but she'll do it. And sometimes I don't pick up on some,
Ants.
yeah, but she's with me no matter what I say. Sometimes I'll say, hey, we're going to Florida. She's like, yeah. And she's not going to say no to that. So I know. And I do take hints, the things she likes. And she'll hint and hint. And then finally I'll say, okay, we're going to do this. She's like, yeah. You listen.
That was a
You got
family
to
life
listen.
thing too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't you
you got to listen.
kind of hinted around about that, and you
Mhm.
finally booked it? And
Yep. You got to listen. Listen to your spouse. So I think one of the biggest problems that destroys marriages is discontent, not agreeing on things. Um, and what's helped us is we both listen to each other. I think her more than me. I think she agrees with me more than I agree with her. Uh, she's a good wife, and like we talk about, if you've listened to our shows, I like to talk about Ephesians chapter 5, 22 through 33. She is one of those submissive wives. I mean, she don't serve me hand and foot. But if I say this is the decision we're going to make, she sticks with it. She doesn't question it. She's okay. That's what we're going to do. Not going into details. I'm just going to tell you this is what happened, and this is what we did. Last year we decided we're going to move churches. We went to his church for a long time. We decided we're going to move churches for certain conditions, and we talked about it, and we both discussed it for a while. Not a couple, like a month or so. We decided this is what we're going to do. Tough decision, but we were both in agreement. If she had said no, let's don't do this, I would have said okay, we're not doing it. But I laid out my case. She agreed with me, so we went to another church. We went there for a while, and we liked the church. We did. We really loved the church, but it was one of those times I was listening to her, trying to process what she was saying, maybe not directly, and I finally got, what? Our boys, not the youngest boy, but our oldest boy, his wife, and the grandbabies, and our other boy, they all still go to the other church. Her sister goes to the other church. A lot of our family still goes to the other church. So us going to the small church may seem like the right thing to do, but we finally got to the point, it's like, you know what? We are separated from our family. We had to make another decision. What do we do? That was a tough decision. But we came together and talked about it, and I had to make an agreement with her to go on her side. She agreed with me to leave. Now we're going to go back. Nothing against a small church. But in the end, we missed our family, and so we had to talk about it. And we came into an agreement. So no, you gotta know your spouse, know their heart, know their mind. You don't have to be a mind reader, but you gotta be close to it. You gotta be able to see the hints.
you just got to be, I think, willing to be aware. He's gotten much better at kind of reading me and reading my moods and reading, you know, used to he was just kind of oblivious, but now and not
What's
and
wrong
I
with
don't, I
you?
don't mean to say that to be mean, but like
Yep,
he's just
yep. Oh,
focused on other things, and after we went to that marriage conference, he's been more trying to tune in more to
what was it I
my
what
feelings.
was it I started saying like in the middle of that? I was like, I'm gonna start pursuing you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start pursuing you. But anyways, that's it. And again, this is not an exclusive list, but it's stuff that we've had to endure in our marriage. Maybe comment on this. Tell me what you've had to endure. How it's made your marriage good. How it's been a good thing in your marriage. It's been some of the stressors that we've overcome, and we're still going through. Financial thing. We're trying to reconnect with our family again. Our marriage has had its ups and downs, and through it all, we have been able to grow stronger in our marriage, and enduring the tough times have caused our marriage to become stronger. And it's better than it was last year. And it just keeps getting better. Some marriages may not be able to endure half of what we've been through. These 4 things that we talked about may have destroyed other marriages. Not that we're better than any, but we've learned to endure. Through it all, we attribute the success of our marriage to our faith in Jesus Christ. Have we not had our faith in Jesus Christ, our marriage would have been destroyed the first year. We probably would never got married. She probably would have, I'm not marrying somebody that's not going to be there 4 months a year. And we put Jesus Christ first in our marriage, and then having Him first helped everything else. It's just, have Him first, and then the man, the headship, and the wife submits, and I pursue her, and I love her like Christ loved the church, and I give up myself for her, and she respects me. Ephesians 5:22-33. If you haven't read it, you got to read it. Uh, this is the best advice we can give you in your marriage. So we hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please comment and like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hey, subscribe to our channel. We have plenty of videos, and we do short clip videos. If you have a short attention span, you have a 60-second attention span, I'm going to probably do 4 or 5 clips from this video. So if you don't want to do the 30-minute video, we got 4 or 5 60-second ones. So thank you, and God bless. See you next time.